And now, the news.
Breaking news for Colombia and Latin America. In flyer news, Aeromexico faces passenger drop and rising fuel cost. Aeromexico is facing operational pressure after reporting a loss of thousands of passengers and a sharp increase in fuel cost affecting its profitability. The airline industry report highlights reduced demand on several domestic and international routes alongside higher aviation fuel prices that continue to strain budgets. Analysts say the combination of weaker passenger volumes and rising operational expenses is forcing the carrier to adjust capacity and review routes. The situation reflects broader challenges in Latin American aviation, where inflation and currency fluctuations are impacting travel demand. Despite the difficulties, Aeromexico is expected to explore cost-cutting strategies and possible network adjustments to stabilize performance over the coming months. The company is also monitoring competitor pricing trends across the region. Over to Medellín. Startco boosts Medellín startups eyeing global markets. Startco in Medellín is highlighting the growth of local entrepreneurship as startups increasingly aim for international markets. The event connects founders, investors, and accelerators to expand business opportunities beyond Colombia. Organizers emphasize the importance of innovation, funding access, and global stability for emerging companies. Medellín continues to position itself as a regional tech hub, attracting attention for its startup ecosystem and support networks. Participants showcase solutions across fintech, health, and digital services, seeking cross-border partnerships. Experts note that international exposure is key for sustainable growth. The initiative reflects Colombia's broader push to integrate startups into global value chains and strengthen its competitive position in Latin America's innovation landscape. The program also includes mentorship sessions and investor pitch rounds. In Peruvian tourism, Peru sees tourism surge across key regions during long weekend. Peru recorded a noticeable increase in tourism activity across 3 major regions during the latest long holiday weekend, according to travel and regional reports. Destinations saw higher hotel occupancy rates, increased transport demand, and stronger visitor spending compared to previous weekends. Officials attribute the rise to domestic travel campaigns and improved accessibility to popular attractions. Coastal, highland, and cultural regions also benefited from the influx of tourists, boosting local economies. Tourism operators reported positive performance in services such as guided tours, hospitality, and gastronomy. The trend reflects a steady recovery in Peru's tourism sector as both domestic and regional travel continues to grow after recent economic adjustments and promotional efforts. Authorities expect continued growth into upcoming holiday periods. Quick heads up. Americans in Colombia applying for a visa now need an FBI background check. Get yours in 24 to 48 hours using OnCall Colombia. OnCallColombia.com. The information is on the screen as well as in the description of all my videos. Make sure you tell them Rob sent you. In flyer news, American Airlines restores U.S.-Venezuela flight options. American Airlines has confirmed the availability of flights between Venezuela and the United States, marking a significant development in air connectivity between the two countries. The announcement reflects renewed efforts to improve limited travel options after years of reduced service. The restored routes are expected to facilitate passenger movement for business, family reunification, and essential travel. Aviation officials highlight that operational conditions and regulatory coordination were key factors in enabling the service. Demand for U.S.-Venezuela travel has remained strong despite restrictions, and a reintroduction of flights could ease pressure on connecting routes through third countries. The move signals gradual normalization in parts of the region's aviation network. Airline analysts say demand recovery will depend on diplomatic stability. Over to Cuba. Cuba's president defiant amid U.S. pressure and energy tensions. Cuba's president has taken a defiant stance amid increasing pressure from the United States and ongoing energy blockade threats affecting the island nation. In recent statements, the government emphasized sovereignty and rejected external interference in domestic affairs. Officials urged that economic restrictions continue to impact energy supply, infrastructure, and daily life. Despite challenges, leadership insists the country will maintain its political course and strengthen international partnerships outside traditional Western influence. The situation highlights long-standing tensions between Havana and Washington, particularly regarding sanctions and energy access. Regional observers note that Cuba continues to seek alternative alliances to stabilize its economy and ensure essential resource availability. Panama has announced the reactivation of a tourist insurance program designed to improve visitor safety and enhance the country's appeal as a travel destination. The initiative, revived after more than a decade, aims to provide coverage for medical emergencies and unexpected incidents affecting international tourists. Authorities say the measure strengthens confidence in Panama's tourism sector and supports growth in arrivals. The policy is part of a broader effort to modernize travel infrastructure and align with international standards. Tourism officials believe the insurance program will help position Panama as a safer and more competitive destination in the region, especially as global travel demands continue to rise and improve post-pandemic recovery resilience for the tourism industry overall stability. Allow me to take a second to say thank you. Thank you to all those that support this channel. Again, whether through a super chat, a like, a share, a sub, you guys are greatly appreciated. Over to Bogotá. Near collision at Bogotá El Dorado Airport sparks safety investigation. A serious aviation incident occurred at Bogotá's El Dorado International Airport involving a Lufthansa aircraft and another plane that came dangerously close to a potential collision during operations. According to preliminary reports, air traffic control detected a critical loss of separation while both aircraft were maneuvering near the runway environment. Emergency protocols were immediately activated, preventing any physical impact or injuries. Aviation authorities confirmed that the situation was stabilized quickly, but investigators are now analyzing flight data, communication logs, and procedural compliance to determine how the incident unfolded. Officials emphasized that multiple safety layers helped avoid disaster, though the event has raised renewed concerns about congestion, traffic coordination, and operational pressure at one of Latin America's busiest airports, prompting calls for improved airspace management systems. In Colombia boosts sports events investment to drive tourism and growth. Colombia is increasing investment in major sporting events as part of a national strategy aimed at boosting tourism, infrastructure development, and local economic activity. Reports from Minuto 30 highlight that both public and private sector stakeholders are channeling funding into regional and international competitions hosted across multiple cities. The initiative seeks to strengthen Colombia's reputation as a sports destination while generating revenue for hotels, transport services, and local businesses. Officials emphasize that sports tourism has become a key economic driver, especially in cities with established stadium infrastructure. Analysts note that improved organization and sponsorship participation are expanding Colombia's presence on the global sports calendar. Future plans include attracting larger international tournaments and upgrading facilities nationwide to sustain long-term industry growth and competitiveness. Over to El Salvador. El Salvador approves life sentence for minors as young as 12. El Salvador has published a controversial new law allowing life sentences for minors as young as 12, marking a significant expansion of its criminal justice framework. The legislation applies to severe violent crimes and reflects the government's continued hardline approach to public security and gang-related violence. Officials argue that measures are intended to deter youth participation in organized crime and reinforce national safety. However, the law has drawn strong criticism from human rights organizations and international observers who question its compliance with juvenile justice standards and proportional sentencing principles. The policy has sparked intense domestic and global debate over balancing security enforcement with child protection rights. Authorities maintain the reform is necessary due to ongoing violence and public demand for stricter legal measures. In U.S. Brazilian news, Brazil's ex-spy chief released after U.S. ICE detention. Al Jazeera reports that Brazil's former intelligence or ex-spy chief has been released in the United States after being detained by ICE authorities, drawing international attention due to the high-profile nature of the case. Officials confirmed that immigration procedures led to the release following a review process, though details surrounding the detention remain limited. The individual previously held a senior position within Brazil's intelligence structure raising diplomatic sensitivity around the incident. The case has sparked debate in both countries regarding legal status, detention protocols, and coordination in handling foreign nationals. Analysts suggest the situation could have broader implications for intelligence cooperation and diplomatic relations between Brazil and the United States. Further clarification is expected from authorities as more information becomes available. Over to Panama. Panama reviews ride-hailing app regulations after industry pushback. Panama's president is reviewing a controversial decree regulating ride-hailing and transportation apps following strong criticism from industry stakeholders and transport sector representatives, according to Infobay. The proposed regulations aim to establish clearer rules for digital mobility platforms, including licensing requirements, operational standards, and compliance measures. However, drivers and companies argue that the decree could increase cost and limit flexibility in the sector. The government states that the goal is to create a more organized and fair transportation system while ensuring passenger safety and regulatory oversight. The review process highlights ongoing tensions between traditional taxi operators and app-based services in Panama. Officials have indicated that revisions may be made after consultations with affected groups before final implementation decisions are reached. So there you go. This plane was full. So hopefully you got something out of it. Tell me about the Duolingo, though. Anybody using Duolingo? I mean, almost everybody has it on their phone. Do you continue to use it? Just so you know, if anybody speaks Spanish or anybody teaches Spanish or anybody has a Spanish-speaking language instructor there in Medellín or anywhere in Colombia or anywhere, because we can do this online. But I need somebody who can teach Spanish, who can help me give like maybe 10 minutes at the end of this video, 5 minutes at the end of that video. It's the one thing I have not done for you guys. Everything else that's been asked for, I've pretty much given over the past 6 years. But this is one thing that I have slipped on. I've done it a little bit on my own, but I'm not a teacher. I'm not a Spanish teacher. Well, I mean, there's some words that I understand, but not enough to where I want to do it professionally. And that's what I'm about, trying to do it professional. So if anyone knows anybody that teaches Spanish, please have them hit me up at dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com, dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com. And I'll see if we have some synergy and see if we can get it going. But I appreciate you guys that support this channel. Thank you guys so much. Remember to travel, but travel safe. Make sure you get your smile right. Make sure you see my dentist, Dr. Carlos Mari. Good location, right on 43rd, good price, and of course, the best service you're gonna get. So hey girl, thanks for coming by my place.
No worries. You mind if our girlfriend can come by with us?
Hell no. This is why I watch DC Rob.
Yo. Yo, it's DC Raw, beat the stream, daily dose. East Coast swagger, hit you with that travel pros. Colombia trips, Medellín tips on the real. Stay safe, stay aware, what's the deal? News on lock, know the blocks before you walk. Stick to the tours, avoid that shady talk. Urban jungle, vibes for miles is hot. Keep your eyes and ears open, dots to connect the plot. For your journey, pack your mind, strap it tight. Travel safe, insurance just in case, day or night.